4th grade. Let's get ready for 1.2D, probability, fractions, and percents. This is a super fun lesson, guys. Trust me, you're going to love this. But before we get going, guys, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you guys ring that notification bell so you guys can see these videos as soon as they come out. Get that first comment, get that first like. I know you guys live for that stuff. Like, that is what you guys live for. So, a bag contains 100 marbles, and the table below shows how many red, blue, green, and yellow marbles are in that bag. So you guys need to use that data to complete this table. And this first row is already completed for you. I'm going to do about 5 of them. Yeah, I'm going to do 4 of these, and you guys are going to fill out the rest, okay? So it's talking the probability of drawing the colored marble. What it means is how many are there out of the full amount. So when it comes to blue, we're going to have 24 out of 100. Okay? Because there's 24 blue ones in there out of the full 100 marbles that we have. Now, the percentage is really easy once we have that, because the percent is how many per 100. Well, if there's only 100 in there, then our percentage is 24%. And then our ratio, we have 24 blue ones out of our 100 full ones. And now, the reason they got 4/25ths is they've pulled a 4 out of both of those. So I think we can pull a 4 out of 24 and 100. Let's see. So let's go 24 over 100. Well, what times 4 is 24? I think 6. 6 times 4, and that's going to be 25 times 4. Well, that's going to equal 6/25ths. And the reason we can do that is just the reason, like, if we have something and we multiply by 4, and then we immediately divide by 4, well, we haven't done anything. We just take it back to the original number. That's all we've done, is we've just taken it back to that original thing. So this right here is the same as 6/25ths. Equals 6 divided by 25. And over here, that means we have 6 blue ones per 25 other colored. Or for 25 in there. Alright, so green. Green's really easy. 45 that we have out of our total 100. And that same thing goes for the ratio. There are 45 green ones out of our total, or to our total 100. Now our percentage is how many per 100? Well, we have 45 per 100. Easy. Now this part's where it becomes a little bit more difficult here. I don't think there's a 4 that we can take out of 45. But I think there's a 5 that we can take out of both of those. Let's see. 45 over 100. Well, 45 is 9 times 5. And 100 is 20 times 5. So that's going to be equal to 9/20ths. So our probability is 9 out of 20. And our ratio is 9/20. Now you guys are going to do yellow. I'm going to do orange. Do you guys even see an orange on here? I don't. Which means we have 0 out of 100 chance of pulling one out. We have 0 orange to our other 100 marbles. And we have 0% chance of pulling an orange. Because there's no orange ones in there. It's just, when there's none in there, it's just that easy. Now red or blue, this is a really fun one. Meaning we can pull out either one and still win. So how many of both of those do we have? Well, if we have 16 red and 24 blue, that means we have 40 that could be red or blue. So we're going to do 40 over 100. And again, our ratio is 40 to 100, which means our probability is 40%. Now, this one's going to be a little trickier. All right? 40 over 100. Let's make that the smallest fraction we can. They both have a 10, so let's pull a 10 out first. So that's going to be equal to 4 times 10 divided by 10 times 10, which gets us 4/10ths. I think that can go lower, though. Because aren't those both even numbers? They are. They're both even numbers, which means we have 2 out of 5. So we have a 2/5 probability Wow, that was terrible. 2/5 probability, or a 2-to-5 ratio of colored marbles to all marbles. Now you guys are going to do the bottom one. It's not that hard. You have to follow the same process for red, blue, green, or yellow. Meaning we can pull any one of these out of the hat. So how many total are there? Now suppose we want to create a bag with 300 marbles with the same probabilities as before. So I'm going to do blue and green, and you guys are going to do yellow. So blue was 6/25, and green was 9/20. And I want to say our percent here was 24%, and our percent here was 45%. So guys, this part's really easy for the percent, because remember, it's per 100. So we have 24 out of 100, which means you just need to multiply that by 3. So 24 times 3 over 100 times 3, which gets us 72 over 300. 45% is 45 over 100. Multiply top and bottom by 3. So we have 45 times 3 divided by 100 times 3. Well, 45 times 3, 40 times 3 is 120, and 5 times 3 is 15. So we're going to get 135 over 300. Now the probability to the amount is a little bit different here. So do you guys see how they multiplied by 12? Well, that's because 25 times 12 is 300. So we're going to do the same thing. This is going to be equal to 6/25 times 12 divided by 12. That gets us to our 300 in the denominator, but it also gets us 72 up in the numerator. And if we want to draw this out like they have it, we're going to cut this into thirds. We'll have a 24, 24, and a 24 here. And we'll shade in this rest. Now this next one's a little trickier. Because we have 20 on their denominator instead of 25, we can't multiply by 12. So an easy way to do this is to divide 300 by 20. Well, that's the same problem as dividing 30 by 2. We just take a 0 off of both of those. It's the same problem. And we know what that is. That's 15. So we're going to multiply our top and bottom by 15. 9 over 20 times 15 over 15. Well, shoot, what's 9 times 15? Well, 9 times 10 is 90, and 9 times 5 is 45. Add those two together, and we're going to get 135. So we're going to get 135 divided by 300. And what you guys should start to notice here is that these are going to be exactly the same as each other. Okay, because we're going from percentage to amount and from probability to amount. So the amount needs to stay the same. And again, I'll draw this out. We'll cut it into thirds. We'll draw our 45 in here. Color that in. 45, color that in. 45, color this in. And you guys are going to do yellow. So now down here, this modeling part is really important that you guys listen and you guys read through this with me. So we want to compute a percent of a large number. Okay? So we know 60% is either 60 out of 100, 6 out of 10, or 3 out of 5. Which means we need to divide 145 either into 100, 10, or 5 different parts. And we're going to look for the nicest numbers that we can. So dividing into 100 parts would mean 1.45. That's really not a nice number. Dividing into 10 parts would be 14.5. That's a little bit nicer, but that's still not great. Dividing into 5 parts would mean 29. We have a whole number. That's our nice number we're going to use. So we divide it into 5 parts of 29. To find 60%, we're going to take 3 of those. So we're going to take these first 3 right here. And now it's either 29 plus 29 plus 29 or 29 times 3 which equals 87. Either way, 60% of 145 has to be 87. Now for our next example, we're trying to find the percentage. We want to find percentage. So for this, we're going to go about it kind of the same way. We have our big number, and we're going to take our 10% of that big number, because 10s are the easiest way to do this. 10% are. So 10% of 195 is 19.5. So we need to divide the 195 into 10 equal parts, which is what we've done. We have 10 19.5s in here. Now, a really cool thing about 19.5 is that 19.5 times 2 is 39. But that means that 39 is 20% of 195. Okay, since we took two 10% and added them together, we get a 20%. Now, something really cool is 39 plus 39 is actually 78. So now we're taking two 20%, and 78 is, therefore, 40% of 195. As we can see above, two 10% portions make 39. Therefore, four 10% make up 78. So 78 is 40% of 195. Now we want to find the large number. We want to find our large number. So 15% of what number is 45? Well, in order to do this, we know that percents are relationships of 100. So if we can find a 10, then we can easily find that 100. So if 45 is 15% of the whole, then we would have to know that 15 is going to be 5% of that whole as well, because 15% divided into 3 is 5%, and 45 divided into 3 is 15. Therefore, 5% is 15, so a 10% has to be 30. So we build these 10 boxes, build it 10 parts, each one 30. We can either count this up, or we can multiply. We can go 30 times 10, which is going to be 300. So 15% of 300 is 45. Does that make sense, guys? I really hope it does. This is your first video for the week, guys. As always, before we leave, make sure you guys like, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you guys ring that notification bell so you guys can see these videos as soon as they come out. As always, guys, have a great weekend and get ready for this week of school. It's going to be a blast to be able to see you guys again.